Am I fixated on the negative in my husband? Hi everyone. I'm not even sure where to begin, so I apologize if this comes out like a rant. I have been married to my husband for nearly 7 years, with 1 year of dating prior. My husband has always been a loving, supportive man. He's done a lot to help me grow into the adult I am today by being there for me through childhood trauma recovery and encouraging and supporting me through my jobs and education. Over time, some things have been off. We share our hobbies together. We both play lots of video games essentially. He's had issues with me playing computer games because they don't involve him, even though I always invited him. He took issue with my online friends that I felt I had to cut off, simply because he felt jealous about my time spent with them. It was always moderated and he was always invited to join us. They weren't a bad influence or toxic or anything. He would dig through my phone early on in the relationship and get mad by sexual-based memes I saved when I was a teenager. He'd threaten to leave me over such things. I felt like I needed to ask permission to do basic things like go on my computer. In the past few years, we hit a snag in the road and had a serious dry spell. A lot of it was my fault for holding on to emotional pain from his actions. We moved to Japan for a year because he loves the culture, but he flipped out on me all the time and grew distant because of the stress of living there. I turned to self-love on an extremely mild scale, usually indulging once a week or every 2 weeks to online, vanilla, content. I would only do it if I was home alone. He found out by tracking our DNS at home. He withheld the knowledge for a few months, claiming to cry in the bathtub at night and talk to online therapists. When he finally told me he knew, he said he would never trust me again. I destroyed our entire history together, etc. I accepted responsibility for hurting him, and unfortunately accepted him saying I cheated on him. After lots of therapy and support, I've changed my feelings and believe I broke his trust, but didn't cheat. He told his mom in front of me everything I watched, which was extremely embarrassing and painful. He took my phone away and gave me a dumb phone. He made me sleep on the couch with my clothes packed away for 5 months. I wasn't allowed to be home alone. He was allowed to dig through years of my Google activity, monitor the internet, block a lot of stuff on the Wi-Fi, etc. We eventually talked about returning my phone. He threw it down in front of me. When I proposed a middle ground where it would be put away at home so he didn't have to see it, he threw a tantrum, putting his coat on to go for a walk. When I responded, he swung around and was extremely apologetic. He continued to love bomb me over the following weeks. Behavior like this has repeated. He recently got upset after we tabled a mature conversation before bed, that felt very amicable, and left in the middle of the night. He called and got really mad I didn't wake up and stop him. After that he swung around again and love bombed me. Then was depressed again when I went to talk to a friend over dinner. I feel like this abusive, but I feel so wrong for fixating on it. 99% of the time he's amazing. Was he abusive? Am I fixating on it and not looking at the positive enough? TLDR, I can't tell if I'm fixated on prior potential abuse and if I'm just holding our relationship back by being hung up on the negative. I'm happy to share more info if asked. Comment. Your husband is controlling, possessive and insecure. He may have some good qualities, but from what you say he is incapable of allowing you to have your own friends or any private life to speak of. Just because you're married it doesn't mean that you must do everything together or that you can't keep some things to yourself. It's normal for you to have lost desire. He has broken your trust, separated you from your friends, and diminished you. Telling his mother about this stuff in front of you was a way of humiliating you, and taking your phone away is a way to control you. Essentially, he treats you like you're a child rather than a partner on equal ground. I would strongly advise taking a step back from this relationship and examining what you want and whether you're happy. This doesn't sound like a healthy situation. Holy crap, this guy is so abusive. Break up with him immediately. Go see a therapist immediately. Next story 2. I have feelings for my boyfriend's childhood friend. Should I stay with my boyfriend or explore my feelings? I started dating my boyfriend 3 years ago, let's call him Mark. For a bit of context, Mark was cheating on me for the first 6 months of our relationship and I had no idea. He was texting other girls, but once I found out, he stopped completely. I didn't break up with him because he made me happy and I figured he would never cheat again, and he hasn't. Fast forward 1 year, Mark took me to his mom's place to hang out for the night. His mom had people over, and that's when I met Mark's childhood friend, we will call him Noah. As soon as I met Noah, it's like a spark ignited between us. I was only 18 and he was in his 20s, so it seemed like a small little crush, until it wasn't. Almost every weekend, I would ask Mark to go to his mom's because I knew that Noah was going to be there. I was subtle with it, I would say I was doing my hair and makeup to feel good about myself. Every time I would see Noah, I wouldn't stop smiling and I was so happy. I would Snapchat him every night. I eventually told Mark about my feelings for Noah and he made me promise to stop talking to him. I would stop for a few months and then add him again, and all my feelings for him would come rushing back. I did this a few times, and even thought I wasn't physically doing anything with Noah. It made me feel bad for Mark, because I know he deserves someone who loves him entirely. I am now 20, and I haven't seen Noah in person for a while, but I really want to. I need to know if there is anything between us or if I can move on and be happy with Mark. I'm not sure what to do at this point. Should I stay with Mark or explore my feelings with Noah? More context. Mark makes me very happy emotionally, but physically, we aren't really intimate anymore, and when we are, I don't really enjoy it. I have never been with Noah physically. We came very close one night, but I couldn't do that to Mark. He makes me very happy when we talk, and nobody can make me laugh the way he does. Personally, I really want to spend another night with Noah to see how things go. Noah is the only person that I have ever caught feelings for since I started dating Mark. I am not interested in anyone else. Comment. Break up. Then decide. If you're catching feelings for someone else while in a relationship, then you shouldn't be in that relationship. You're supposed to be able to curb those kind of thoughts. Seeing how your heart is open to other people. Do the proper thing and end it, then decide what's next for you. Just expect that this will likely ruin their friendship if you decide to chase the ex's best friend. Regardless of what happens, I feel that you should end things because if someone else is capable of catching your attention, then that is unfair to Mark. Maybe secretly you are still mad he cheated in the beginning and only stopped once you found out. You definitely should go for Noah in my opinion, but maybe it's not even like you envision it to be. Break up with Mark and then hook up with Noah. Stay single for a good month or so, then determine what you really want without being in a committed relationship. Next story 3. My wife wants a break from me and our marriage. Title says it all. I married my wife when I was, and I had always thought we had a strong relationship and were in a good place. About 3 weeks ago, we had an argument because she wanted to get a tattoo on her face and I thought it was a bad idea. We discussed and I thought that was it, but a few weeks later she tells me she's unhappy and wants a break in our marriage. She says she's felt this for a long time but I haven't seen any signs of indicators and I pay close attention to her and how she's feeling. I personally think we could have talked it out but she put a lot of emphasis on finding herself and knowing herself and I shouldn't be upset because this is her being able to know freedom. She has this friend that she hangs out with and has hung out with late at night, knowing full well that he's trying to sleep with her. I don't believe in telling someone who they can or can't hang out with so I haven't said anything. I think she wants a divorce and is too scared or doesn't want to be the one to say it. What do I do? I'm 99% certain that she's checked out and isn't willing to work on this. Should I just rip the band-aid off and divorce her? Comment. Call your lawyer. File for divorce. Marriages don't have fucking breaks. She is banging the guy already. Your instinct sounds right to me. She doesn't want to be in this marriage but is scared to pull the trigger. TBF to her, she, and you, got married really young. Clearly is not ready to settle down with someone forever, and still wants to be a little young and wild, face tattoo. Kick her out. But do it like a master. Without scream. Without beg. Just, let her know, that you are out for good and your lawyer will be in contact. Block her on everything, and work in yourself.